What's good, people? Welcome to the Music Is My Business podcast. Shout out to everybody in the stream. Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know what you do. I'm glad to be back for another live Q&A so I can answer some questions and help get some people unstuck. I see Kevin Cheek. I see you, bro. All is well. Hope the same your way. Where's my come over here. Come over here, screen. Skyway Music Studios was good. Michael Connor Music in the building. I see you, bro. Hope all is well. How y'all feeling, man? Let me know. Sky Music, Glenn. Oh, got you. What's good, Glenn? It's Glenn. Glenn's his name. It's Wednesday again. And it went, I feel like last Wednesday came quicker than this Wednesday. This Wednesday, it kind of took its time. Maybe it was because of the holiday weekend. I think that's probably why. But it was a good Father's Day / Juneteenth weekend. No complaints. Spent time with the boys. Every day is Father's Day, though. It's like, we appreciate the day that people take time to recognize it, but literally it's an everyday affair. All my fathers know what I'm talking about. What's good? So yeah, if you guys got questions about music business, music licensing, music production, definitely drop them. We're gonna chop it up today. Got a couple briefs this week. So excited to work on some of that stuff. Got a couple tracks I need to finish up that I started one I started like last week, and then there was one I started the week before. So I want to go in and finish those up and get those sent out to be recorded by some dope writers, and then we'll work on getting that stuff pitched, and then seeing a couple new briefs come in for some stuff. One was just kind of broad in general for just stuff that can just be used in everything pretty much. So there's like no specific show, and then another one was a specific show. So that should be fun. I had a few already ready, which I feel like that's really where it's at, man. Like building a catalog of just syncable music, songs, instrumentals to just have on standby, because sometimes when you come across these briefs that are pretty short, or it's just like a first come first serve kind of situation, you don't have a lot of time to like sit and create something and record it and mix it and then send it and meet the deadline. So in situations like that, that's when I find like the true value in just consistently building a catalog of just sync ready music. So I had a few like already ready. So I sent those, and I may work on, what was that deal? I think I got like a week left. So I may work on some more stuff for that. I don't know. I have to see. But I think when things slow down, when you're working with different publishers and things like that, like there's times where the briefs may slow down from certain publishers. And that's why, when I'm coaching my students in TV placement mastery program, I tell them like, hey, like always create even when there's not briefs, but then also make sure you're not just working with like one music library, one sync agent, like have multiple, because when one slows down, like, you can still see briefs from other ones. So you kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like you kind of save yourself from just sitting around doing nothing. But when there's times where like none of the publishers are like sending briefs, or you just knocked out all the briefs and you just got some extra time, like always create something that works well in sync. You know what I mean? So I think that's how you consistently continue to build a catalog that can work for you, and stuff that you just have on standby that at some point somebody's going to request this stuff. It's already ready. I got the standard stems ready. I got lyrics ready, all of that stuff, so that you can hit those quick deadlines and then not have to worry about always trying to create something new. So highly recommend that, because, that's the cheat code. Will Harvey, what's good? Everything is well, man. Hope the same your way. Appreciate that, Skyway Music Studios. So, always have something ready. So those 3 songs definitely worked out. And yeah, like I think that was just kind of it was a reminder, like, man, I was thinking, okay, let me see if I can hurry up and create something to meet this. But I was like, you know what? No, I already have stuff that'll work well for this. So that's the power of having a catalog. So build your catalog, be consistent. Some people just wait, for the brief, or wait for somebody to hit them up and ask them for something. I think everyone, all the people I know who have seen success in sync, they were and are proactive. You know what I mean? Like, they're kind of anticipating what the need is going to be. Like, I know some of y'all, like, we were talking about Christmas music at the beginning of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all were on it. So I think that's super important. Karen Rogers in the building. I see you, Karen. What's up? So yeah, for the new people, let me know where you guys are from and what you do. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. We were just talking about being prepared, when sync opportunities come up, and the importance of having a catalog, just kind of on standby. Michael says, does the strategy of having those songs ready apply to working with companies that are non-exclusive, i.e. have a library for each type of genre you do? Yeah, still applies. If you have like a bin of non-exclusive music that, can go to any non-exclusive company, then you have something ready. And you just know it's non-exclusive. And then, and that was kind of the situation with these songs. Like, they're non-exclusive. So, anytime a non-exclusive situation comes about, those are songs that I can pitch for that. And then, the exclusive stuff, usually, you do the exclusive stuff, you do it for whoever you're doing it for, and then you're just kind of done with that. But you can always create new songs for, when they come around. Or if you've done an album for a music library already and it's been a minute, you know what I mean? Maybe reach out and say, hey, wondering, if you got what your current needs are, and if you guys want to get together on another album. So yeah, Nathaniel Jacobs, what's good? Good to see you back in the stream. Hopefully y'all had a dope weekend. I got water today. No tea today, just water. I don't think I didn't drink enough water today. So I'm about to down this thing of water by the end of this episode, this water will be gone. DMG, howdy. So yeah. So let me know, man. Let me know some of the challenges that you all face, like trying to break in the sync. Because I know on the surface, like when you've been doing something for so long, you can make it look easy sometimes. And I know some people, I've had people reach out and it was like, yo, you make this look easy. Like, it's not that easy. It's like, I'm not trying to make it look easy. It's just, I've mastered the process, so it makes it look like it's easier than it is to get started. But it's simple. You just have to, know how to get through those hurdles and not stay stuck when you don't have an answer for something. Because a lot of people, like, they just, they get stuck. They get stuck at, well, I don't know who to send the music to, or they get stuck at, I don't know why a company said no. I don't know what's wrong with my music, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, what structure to use. A lot of people just get stuck and then just stay stuck. The goal is not to stay stuck, but to get unstuck and work through and find those answers, so that you can move forward. And then once you get through those hurdles, and then you do it over and over and over and over and over again, like, it'll become easier for you as you go. But you just have to get through it. Yik Waba, FL Rap, or Florida rap and song mix and master, help with creating ads. I was signed to Digi Films, a label under Columbia Records. That's what's up. Super dope. Are the odds of a placement increased by offering the same tracks to another company, i.e. Fox reaches out to company A, B, C, and Y, and your music is with them all? That could be, honestly, it could be negative or positive. Like, that could be good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Because it could just make it confusing for them, because they're like, which one do I pick? If they see it from all these companies, you know what I'm saying? I think it could put them in a weird situation if they're paying close attention. And then depending on who you ask, you may ask another music supervisor. They're like, I don't care. Like, I'll just pick one from whatever company, or the first one that they hear, that's the one that they go with. And then it's like, no hard feelings, but it is what it is. It wouldn't be the first time that happened. So, it could increase your chances. It could not, you know what I mean? I think it just really depends on who the decision maker is at the other end. That's a good question though. But I think if you know company A, B, C, and Y all have the same client, i.e. Fox, then just don't send them all the same stuff, because the client Fox is going to be getting all of your tracks 4 times, and then at some point I could see that just being annoying. Personally, I would just get annoyed. Why do I see 4 times everything this person submits? But that's just me personally. But you know what I mean? So if I know that Fox is a client for all these companies, then I know my music is in the bin if they think it's good. With just one of these companies, it should be fine. How did you juggle time for music around the 9 to 5 and family when you first started pursuing sync? I got really, 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 really intentional with my time. I stopped fooling around, and I took a log of everything I was doing throughout the day. So the time I woke up, time I went to sleep, time I went to work, time I got home from work, time I spent with the wife, family, dinner, all that stuff, gym. And just took a log and was just like, okay, what can I cut out? And what am I willing to sacrifice so that I can get closer to my goals, right? So for me, that was, stay up, spend time, have dinner with the wife. Once she goes to sleep, go to the studio and work for 4 hours. So I would work from 9 or 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So I was just consistently doing that. When I came home, I didn't watch TV. I didn't watch Netflix. I didn't play video games. If I came home and I didn't have anything to do, I worked on music, or I sent emails, or I hopped on calls with libraries. You know what I mean? So it was always something to move it forward, and not wasting time. TV ain't going nowhere. Video games stuff, it ain't going nowhere. And honestly, if you haven't reached your goals yet, reach your goals first, and then go do all that stuff that just sucks your time. If you go binge on a TV show that's an hour long for a whole season, you've wasted I don't know, say it's 10 episodes. You wasted 10 hours of your life that you cannot get back. So that's fine if that's what you want to do. But then if you don't reach your goals, as far as music or whatever you're trying to do, you can't be mad because you made a choice. You know what I mean? Everybody has a choice. You could, waste 10 hours doing nothing productive, but, putting money in somebody else's pocket, or B, get focused, get locked in, and work on building a catalog of music that could pay you for the rest of your life. Because you're not getting that 10 hours back no matter what you do. So you might as well do something that 10 years from now you're still going to get paid for. You know what I mean? So that's what I did, man. I really just took a log of the time, spent whatever I was doing. If it was stuff that was just not doing anything productive in my life, I cut it out. And then just stayed up late and worked. And then I also hired a VA, which is like a major game changer for me. Like hiring a VA to just help with a lot of the like extra little stuff that has to be done outside of creating. That really helped with the time management, and just, moving things forward, so that's what I did to juggle the 9-to-5 family and the music business. Great question. I feel like people criminalize real music. Any help with that? Also I need more connects and better equipment. I mean, I wouldn't even waste time worrying about somebody who criminalizes real music. Like, doesn't matter. Make what the client needs. Forget about anybody else who, like, they probably ain't even doing nothing with their life. Like, that's just you have to develop selective hearing. I have selective hearing. Like, there's people I love. There's people in my life that I love. But if they give me advice on something that they have never done before or that they just don't do, I'll say thank you. And then I know I'm not going to listen to a word they said because they don't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. So you have to develop selective hearing. Has the person that's telling you whatever, criticizing whatever, have they done anything significant to help someone else in their life? Or have they done anything significant to give value to your life? If the answer is no, then just ignore them. Keep doing you and be great. Karen Roger. I've been looking for a music supervisor for a specific show, but I can't find their contact on any social media profiles. What would you suggest I can do? So I don't know exactly everything you did, but if I was trying to find a music supervisor from scratch, this is what I would do. That's a great piece of content. I'm gonna have to chop this up, put it on as a short. But anyways, if I was trying to find a music supervisor from scratch, this is what I would do. First, you got the show. You know what the show is. You could, number one, go to the end credits and scroll down to find a music supervisor name. Well, you probably already have the name because you're searching social media. That's fine. I'm gonna just go from scratch just to give you all the steps. You can do that, or you can go straight to IMDb, type in the show or movie name, and then scroll down to cast and crew, click on all cast and crew, scroll down to the music department, look for music supervisor, find that name, copy and paste. I would first start looking on LinkedIn because that's just like a professional network. That's where the pros hang out. So look on LinkedIn, then do a Google search. Do a YouTube search. They may have some interviews or something on YouTube. Podcast search. You already did the social medias. See if type their name and then type music supervisor before or and after the name to see if that brings up different results. You can search the name space, add the plus sign space and music supervisor. So like in Google, what that does is like it'll search for like, I don't know, like text on a particular page that has both of those things. Or you can just search their name in parentheses and then it's going to look for like the whole name. If you want like a whole phrase to be searched, you can do that as well. So that's some Google tips and tricks. What else? Yeah, that's what I would do. Those are usually the places I'll look and see if they work for like a music supervision company. And then if they do work for a company, like if you find them on LinkedIn or whatever, or they work for a company, then look for the company's website and then see if there's like some submission page or something on the company's website and then go from there. Next best thing is, man, I think, I don't know. Those are kind of or if they're at some type of event or something, which, that's kind of hard to tell sometimes, but yeah, that's what I would do. Those are usually, and then if they can't be found after that, then I'm just, I'm moving on. I'm moving on to a publisher. Master P said pay $25,000 for a promotion deal for your albums. How would you go about getting good promotion and ways of getting money legally? I don't know. I'm not in the promotion business and promoting albums. It's just not my space. I focus on sync licensing, TV, film placements. So I am not the guy to answer that question for you. But if you want to get money legally, you can get a job. That's number one. You can learn some high value skills, which is selling, communicating to people, to a specific group of people, identifying a problem, and then creating solutions around that problem. That's how you can make money. If you're a freelancer, you have multiple skills. Hop on Fiverr.com, hop on Upwork.com, hop on Songfinch.com if you're a songwriter. People will pay you to write songs. I have a TV placement mastery student. Dude's like crushing it on Songfinch, just like writing songs for special occasions and stuff for people. Dude's crushing it. So sites like that, soundbetter.com. Freelancers, if you're an engineer, producer, musician, like people will hire you to do stuff on there. So those are some ways to get money legally. And then when all else fails, just there's opportunities out here, man. I mean, I seen an ad. This lady literally got paid to poop. Like, you poop and you send your stool in, and they cut you a check. So literally, like, if you know how to poop successfully, you can get paid. So there's opportunities out here, man, for everything. Literally, like everything. I hear what you're saying, because if that track fits the brief and all the companies submit the same track, that's a great point about knowing who their clients are. Yes, indeed. What's good? In your experience, have you seen that classically trained musicians have a harder time connecting with production music? Does that even matter in the long run? I'll tell you what matters. I think it's pronounced Kajordan. What matters is the music that's being requested and needed. So, if you're classically trained, if you're not classically trained, do you know how to compose the music that's being asked for by the client? If the answer is yes, you're good. Doesn't matter. If you're not classically trained, do you know how to compose the music that's being requested, by the publishers and by the clients, networks, TV shows, films? That's all that really matters at the end of the day. If you can give the editors, music supervisors, what they're asking for, how they're asking for it in a timely manner, meeting the deadline and things like that, then you're good. You're good. I think being classically trained definitely gives you an edge and an advantage, because you can communicate, at a different level that some may not be able to. Especially when you get into like the scoring side of things, if that's something you want to do, because there's production music, and then there's like literally scoring music to picture, which is two totally just different lanes, right? So, I think you have more flexibility to kind of experiment, whereas some producers may just only be able to, or just only want to do production music or create songs and then have those songs synced, whereas some people are more interested in just the scoring and composing music for shorts and documentaries and movies and things like that. So really just depends on which route you want to go personally. But great question. Patty P is in the building. What's up, Patty P? Rex Clark, if you have ASCAP and a BMI work ID show up under my song profile in ASCAP, does that mean someone is using it? No, not necessarily. It means it's been registered by, a particular publisher, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's gotten placed. So that just means, Publisher took it in. They handled the admin stuff of it, got it registered. So if it does get placed, now you will be able to get paid the performance royalties from those TV placements. So yeah. I got stuff that's registered. It's never got placed. It's crazy. Should our page get strikes if we play others' music on our platforms? Doesn't that take away the royalties of every artist by them having it taken down? Should our page get strikes if we play others' music on it? So the whole music on different platforms, it really boils down to whatever platform you're on having the rights to have that music on the platform. If they don't have the rights to it, and they can't use it, so they have to take it down. Otherwise they get sued. So that's something that we kind of can't control. That's like, those are deals and negotiations between for example, Meta and YouTube and these labels and stuff like that. But they are doing, like, YouTube does like a revenue share where it's like, if there's some music used and it's allowed to be used, you may not be able to collect ad revenue like on your YouTube video. So either they'll take that ad revenue, pass it on to the copyright owner, or they'll take it and do some type of revenue share with the copyright owner and you as the YouTube page. So it just depends on on the music that's being used. In your opinion, what's the fine line between wasting time watching shows on streaming versus using them to study the type of songs that work for sync? I think that's something that I think you'll know internally. Like, if you just watching TV, just be watching TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when, like, okay, I'm watching, but I'm listening and I'm studying intently. So you can limit that time. I mean, you can take, watch an episode, take an hour, one day, and just listen to the music on the episode. After that hour, man, like, you should have what you need to be able to, to know what you want to work on moving forward for that particular show. Or if, take 1 hour a day for a week, you know what I'm saying? You'll get through most of the season and you'll have a great idea what music is being used. So, it's really up to you. There's no like specific time, you know what I mean, between wasting. But yeah, like if you sitting there, for 5 hours in a day just watching TV, you chilling, you Netflix and chilling for 5 hours. You know what I mean? So let's see. Yeah, no doubt. What's your process for creating music, and then what's your process on the business side? How do you schedule your day? What's your overall process? Oh man, it depends on the day. So for creating music, my process is 9 times out of 10 I'm working off of a brief. So I go through the brief. I'm reading the brief multiple times, make sure I have a clear understanding of the brief, and then once I have that, I go through the references in that brief. If they attach references and sample songs to listen to, I'm listening to those, paying attention to BPM, paying attention to instrumentation, vibe, lyrics, things like that. And I'm just kind of studying that for a little bit. I'll kind of skim through the playlist, and then from there I may hear a song that just catches my attention. I was like, I like that vibe, so I'll go in that direction maybe for a couple songs. So I'll take the BPM, use the same BPM. Sometimes I'll use the same key, but then I'll do my own melody and chord progressions and drums and all that stuff and just create. I'll start with 8 bars. The 8-bar loop is going to be the hook of the track. Then once I have the fully developed 8 bars, I kind of work backwards and then start to build the whole track out, from intro all the way to the sting ending. So that's like my creative process in a nutshell. There's a lot of boring stuff in between, just like y'all producers know like how it is, just creating tracks and you just going through sounds and stuff. But That's what it looks like, essentially. And then from there, once I get everything mixed and finalized, I'm bouncing out all the versions that they want, getting lyrics together. If I have to send it to a writer, I'll send it to them, and then we'll do whatever we need to do paperwork wise. So sometimes that's having them fill out, a split sheet so that everybody's clear on what the splits are. Depending on what company I'm working with, sometimes that information is on the agreement that we sign with the publisher. So then send the publisher deliverables. They send and send if there's payment involved, I'll send like an invoice or whatever, and then deliverables, and that's it. And then we just sign paperwork from the company if we need to. Sometimes the stuff is already done. It's like one stop. You just create, submit it, and then boom, they take care of the rest. And then literally like that's it. Like the publisher. That's why I always recommend linking up with publishers, because they handle most of the admin stuff. You know what I mean? So really, most paperwork I do like on a regular basis is probably like a split sheet with other writers. But yeah, publishers handle everything. They handle the registration with your PRO, making sure that stuff is great. They handle sending the files to the client, the end user, communicating with them if they need edits, and all of that stuff. So I just go back to creating. Once I send it off to them and they approve it, that's it. We move on to the next project. Submit it and forget it. So that's kind of what my process is. And then on a day-to-day schedule varies. Right now, I kind so Monday through Wednesday is usually like my creative day or whatever. So I'm kind of focused on music. Thursday and Fridays more so like content stuff. But this week, listen, anytime I buy a piece of gear, I buy gear and somehow my whole desk setup has to change for some reason. So I've been going through I gotta tell, man, what time is it? We got a little bit of time. I've been getting rid of gear. I just been getting rid of stuff. I'm going back to a more simple workflow. I'm going back to before I had placements. I'm going back to that workflow, right? Because I was listening to some old music I made, and I was like, man, you know what? I like what I was doing. So I sold my Native Instruments machine. I got rid of it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna tell you why I really got rid of it though. I got rid of it because I discovered something in Logic Pro. I'm gonna have to make a whole nother video about it because it's gonna take too long to go into detail. But anyways, I was like, I don't see the point. There's no point. So I got rid of it. I got rid of the machine. I got rid of my Complete Control keyboard S61, but I got another one though. But I just got the 49. I didn't need 61 keys. I'm like, yo, I'm sitting here doing production music for TV and film. I don't need 61 keys. So I got the 49 key version because these, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 octaves are the main ones I use all the time anyway. I don't need the extra octave. And I was running out of desk space because I got this SSL controller thing. So I'm like, you know what, man? I'm about to get rid of the 61. Buy the 49. Create more space on my desk. And then it was another piece of gear that I had. I moved that back because it was taking up more space. So I went through this whole thing. So literally for the past 2 days, I've been fooling around, reorganizing my desk. But in a normal week, I'll be focused on music. But I did submit to some briefs though, and that's when that catalog came in handy because I already had them done. I'm like, yo, we already wrote these songs. I'm gonna send them off. Boom. That's three potential syncs sent that were already done. So so I've been simplifying my workflow. I got rid of the drum machine. I don't need it. I want to go back to I'm gonna just program my drums on my keyboard and go back to that. I didn't get the drum machine until I got my first major placement on Tamar Braxton's Christmas album. It was actually 4 placements. That's when I bought the first machine, and then I upgraded to the MK3 that they have out. And yeah, and I used it for a minute, for years. And I like it. I mean, it's cool, but now for my workflow now, I'm like, yo, like I really want to be able to just crank out stuff faster with minimal like stopping and having to bounce stuff out. So I'm going to do a video and I'm going to show you guys my new and improved drum workflow. I think it's going to be dope. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that. All right, let me see. Let me catch up. World Meta Beats, what's good? It sound like the old man in every hood that say get a job. Listen, man, yo, I probably do because I'm getting old. That's what's going on. But it's the truth though, man. Like I know as creatives, and like I'm gonna just keep it 100, man. I know as creatives we don't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it when I was a young creative. I'm like, blah, regular jobs, it's whack. I just want to do music. I know I'm good at it. Like this is what I want to do. But you got to be real as well, because if what you're doing, what you love to do, isn't paying the bills, you got to be real with yourself and be like, okay, I may have to go out and get something that's going to pay the bills while I still continue to build and grow this music business. And I'm going to tell you what the advantage is to doing that. And because a lot of people just think the job is like the creativity sucker upper or something. like it's just gonna kill all vibes of creativity and you'll be trapped for life and never make it out. And for some people that's true, but that's an excuse. Like you can get out if you want to get out bad enough. You know what I mean? If you hate that job, you hate working a 9 to 5 bad enough, you're gonna figure out a way to get out that joint. You're gonna work your way out. But this is the advantage of just sucking it up and getting the job while you work on music. And this is I've been on every side of the spectrum. I've been the broke, struggling full-time musician, living off gigs, gig to gig. I've been the, working the day job and building the music business on the side. And I do music full-time now. And I'm doing well. So I've seen every side of it. And this is what I'll say. The advantage you have if you continue to work a job while you build your business until it's at a point to where it can sustain your lifestyle, you are able to focus more clearly. You can make smarter decisions on the music side. You don't have to sign ridiculous deals because you're desperate for money. You got to figure out how you're going to eat, where you're going to stay. That's when people get locked up in these terrible deals because they see this little small upfront, advance, and boom, they just take it because that's all they got. So you're able to keep yourself out of situations like that, getting tied up in a trash deal. You're able to not stress about your necessities, food, shelter, clothing. Like you don't have to stress about that stuff. You got a job, your bills are paid. So now when you do create music, you're able to create with a clear mind because you're not stressing about your basic necessities. The other advantage is as your music business starts to grow and it starts to make money while you have the job, your job is already taking care of the bills. So you don't have to eat the money that your music business is making. You can reinvest it right back into your music business so you can grow faster. Like when you're in a situation where like every penny you make from your music business has to go towards everything else you have to pay for, it's going to be harder for you to reinvest back into your music business. It's going to be harder to go get more expensive sounds that are competitive in sync licensing or just the music industry in general. It's going to be harder to get new gear and equipment. It's going to be harder to go out and get to some of these conferences, to get in the room with some of these decision makers. It's going to be harder to invest in marketing, promotion, like whatever you're trying to do. It's going to make it harder because you got bills to pay first. And it's either going to take you a very long time to grow the music business doing it that way, or you're just gonna have to stop and get a job anyway because you can't keep up. You can't afford to keep doing it because it's not like super consistent income. You know, when you're an entrepreneur, it's up and down. You may have a slow month, you may have a great month, then the next month may be trash. So like you have to be able to have something that will kind of balance out those low times, and just be patient. And I feel like if you can be patient and still keep the job and then focus that extra energy, cut out all the distractions, cut out the stuff that's not moving your music business forward, cut out the stuff that's not aligned with the goals that you're trying to meet, lock in on what you really want to do. And then as it grows and you start to see the growth year after year, then you know, okay, finally I'm getting to a place where like I can start to let the day job go, or maybe go down to part-time where you don't have to do the full-time job as much. Now you got more time to work on the music business, and then work your way out of that joint. Me personally, I think it's a better situation. Like, it's not everybody's situation. Like, I mean, there's some people, hey, you want to grind it out and struggle a little bit until, you know, something takes off. By all means, you have that choice. But I feel like the wisest thing to do is, you know, make sure your basic necessities is covered, man. Because it's people out here like that's just, I mean, they're sacrificing so many things that they don't have to sacrifice because they don't want to get a job. Like, you're sacrificing your health because you can't go get an annual checkup, make sure you're good on your health, or one hospital bill takes you out. Now you in all this hospital bill debt because you're just trying to grind it out on music. You don't got health insurance, or you don't have any type of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you don't have to struggle as hard as it could be if you just get a job. So that's my view. And you can still do what you love, and you can still have the goal of becoming full-time after working the job. So it's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You taking care of your business, and you're being responsible, and you're being a good steward over what you have. And honestly, man, having a job, man, people overlook the gems that are in that. Like, you can learn skills. You can get a job that'll teach you skills that'll help you and transfer over into your music business. You know what I mean? You just gotta figure out how to make that joint work for you, and you'll be all right. But I think I answered that. Yeah, I answered that one already. One issue I'm having is using too many instruments outside of drums, trying to keep it at least 5 minimum, but still not sound too thin. Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Yeah, I think the key to not sounding thin is, again, sound selection, just some really good sounds, and then just using full chords, I think, helps with that as well. Just filling it up. And then layering sound. So you may have, say, 5-6 instruments, right, outside of drums, but some of those instruments could just be layered. They're playing the same chord progressions and melody, but they're just layered. Different instruments playing the same thing, and that'll help sometimes too. So yeah. J2 Music. I have your placement book. I'm worried about the pressure. Is it ever at your own pace? I love that question. And this is why I love Sync, because it's like it's yes and no, right? So this is how it works. You have deadlines. You know, when you sign deals with companies, they send you briefs. Those briefs usually have deadlines. So if you work on a brief, if you're going to submit something, you got to submit it by the deadline. If you don't meet the deadline, then you don't have a chance. However, you have the choice to work on the brief or not. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna force you like do this. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna ever force you to do anything. So it's up to you if you want to do it. Like if it's something where it's like, okay, I got time, I can knock this out. Cool. If you can't, like they're not gonna reach out to you, be like, yo, like we sent you a brief and you didn't create anything for it. We're gonna unsign you. Like that'll never happen. So you can work at your own pace, by just picking what you want to work on. But just know in doing that, you're going to get out what you put in. So if you only submit to one brief every 3 months, then you probably gonna get, you might get one placement like every 2 years or something. So, you get out what you put in sync, but it is flexible, to an extent. Either you work on it or you don't. You can make the deadline or you don't. You know what I mean? Nobody's tripping, taking it personal. It's all good. But it's on you. Like you get in the sync. You can't blame anybody else because you don't have placements and you only submit it twice a year. You know what I mean? You can't, like, at that point you can't say it's a scam and it doesn't work. Like you submitted 2 tracks, fam, in a year. So that's what you get out. Like you getting the placement is very, very slim with that amount of output, so that's what I'll say about that. But there's no pressure. There's no, like, unless you say yes to something. If you say yes to something, you tell somebody, you give somebody your words, you're going to work on a project and finish it by a deadline, then yeah, you should do that. But for a lot of the stuff that goes out, they're sending it out to their team of writers like, hey, this is what we have, submit what you can. If not, it's all good. Techie question. Can you talk about your Mac Studio spec, partition, internal HD or sample libraries on external HDs? The MacBook I'm using is 9 years old. Need to get some funds for an upgrade. I love my Mac Studio. It is a beast. I have not heard fans on it yet. Let's look up the specs. Specs, 32 gigabytes of memory. I got the M1 Max chip, and it has a terabyte SSD, and yeah, I'm running Mac OS Ventura 13.4. And I have like a bunch of external storage. I have I don't even know if it'll show me. Oh no, it will. Yeah, so I got two terabytes of storage just to put like the videos and like other files and stuff on. Then I have another SSD that is 1 terabyte. That's where all my sound libraries go. So like all of the libraries. So anytime like I install a plugin from Native Instruments, the plugin will be on the main Mac SSD, but then the library, like all the sound samples and stuff, will go on that sample library drive, SSD, which is external. And then I have that backing up on Time Machine. So I have that, and then I have another network attached storage that I use just for backing up sessions. And that's it. But yeah, like, I mean, I edit 4K video on that thing. I mean, it's gonna handle music production like with ease. I mean, you're not gonna have any issues on that. You know, but yeah, like multiple instances of 4K video and, you know, transitions and all of that stuff, and it knocks it out. So you can't go wrong with like any of the Mac Studios, or even any of the M1 chips, M1, M2, like whatever, whichever one you go with, like you'll be good, man. Just be careful with those SSDs. So make sure you back those joints up. If you're backing up sessions on an SSD, or you're like your library sounds, make sure you like back up the SSDs, because when SSDs die, you don't get like, you don't get that extra time that you would get with like a traditional HDD, like hard drive, like mechanical hard drive with spinning disk inside. Like those, they'll start to fail, and then like you'll get a warning, but like there's still time to like recover stuff and back it up. SSD, like you can wake up tomorrow morning, joint's dead, and there's no coming back. There's no getting stuff off of it. It's done. I've had, from my background in IT, I've dealt with a lot of high-end clients that didn't back their stuff up. It was on an SSD on their computer. SSD died, and they were just furious. And you try and tell them, you back your stuff up. They don't back it up, and when you tell them you can't do anything about it, you're starting from scratch, buddy, then that's what it is. So that's my advice. Make sure you back that stuff up, sessions and everything. So yeah. I have a complete A49 keyboard myself, Clint. I like the feel on the keys. Yeah, I love Native Instruments keyboard keys. I think it's great. Drum Machine Designer is great for create sample sets of kits and sounds. Drag and drop your WAV files in. Exactly. That's what I'm using now, Michael. That's what drove me to making the rash decision of getting rid of my machine. It's crazy. So yeah, Karen said I'm not old. I'm not. I don't think I'm old, but depends on who you ask. Let me see. I got time for like a couple questions. Creation Roll Music was good. Let's see. Creation Rose, he about to call out tonight. Hey, sometimes I feel you. Sometimes it just be like that. I'm upgrading to a new Mac Studio soon. I'm thinking M1 Max, 64 gig, 1 terabyte. Wondering what specs would be best. Only want to buy it once. Yeah, yo, Patty, you can't go wrong with that. And at 64 gigs a terabyte is plenty. You'll be good. I only have 32, and like I haven't run into any issues. So yeah. No doubt. M2, yeah, M2 is gonna be dope. You ever tried the mic modeler VST? If your mic is the problem, to know what mic fits your voice. I haven't. I have to check that out. I haven't tried it though. No doubt. Flares. I'm curious to see flares set up too. Not gonna lie. It's probably, what if it's like not a lot? Like it's just the Mac Studio, and then the rest is just, I don't know. Flares he has like this organic process with no gear. He doesn't use gear at all. It's just his brain. It comes from his brain. Plugs himself up into the USB-C port. It just downloads epic trailer music. That's Flare setup, a USB-C cable. I'm in IT too. The stories I've seen, both my own and clients, gotta have, man. So you already know, dude. Like, it's the most hilarious thing because, like, you know, as the tech, they look to you and they're like, "Help me!" Like, it's like there's nothing I can do. Like, there's nothing I can do. And they get mad. They want to take it out on somebody. Sometimes it ends up being us. And then you just have to quickly remind them, listen, it ain't my fault you didn't back your stuff up. Like, you get reminders. And if you're using a Windows computer, man, you get all types of pop-ups about one disk and backing up stuff. I'm sure your IT department told you to back your stuff up. You just never did it. You were going to after your trip or your meeting. You know, man, so many stories, dude. It's just like, it's hilarious. It sucks to lose your stuff, but you know, it just, yep, it's a hard lesson. Saw an interview that Nathan Hunter did, his guest, that said he gets briefs that must leave 400 milliseconds of space at the intro. Do you find that often in your briefs? Working with specific publishers, I do get that request. It may not be like 400 milliseconds, but it'll be they'll ask for like a bar, like 2 measures of silence before. So, you know, I just take it in Logic and just kind of drag those extra 2 bars back. And the reason they asked me to do that for this particular project was they were going to drag all the stems in to do final mix and master and stuff. And they wanted to make sure, you know, if you start right on the one, sometimes you'll get like clicks and pops, or it'll cut it off and it doesn't exactly start clean. So that's why they asked me to do that. Excuse me. So they, you know, they can make sure they have all the audio. So yeah. So that's it, y'all. All right, it's 9:30, which means it's time for live music review, seeing if your music is ready for TV and film. So I'm going to end this joint because this is the podcast joint, and then we're going to switch over to the live music review joint. So stick on the channel, and we about to get to it. So appreciate everybody coming through, asking the questions. This was a dope episode. I think we gave away some really good, helpful information. And if you need, you know, resources or anything like that, the link is in the description. ClintProductions.com/link in bio. Get whatever you need that helps you. And yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all on this next stream. I'm out. Peace.